So I've prepared something really cool for you guys. And I know you guys, we've come this far on your all's journeys, on my journey, and I know that you guys are ready to go to the next level. Are you ready to go to the next level? Okay. Because I really want you to understand and to learn about food and nutrition, but like in a totally fun way, not a boring way. Does that sound good? Because I promised you guys that there would be fundamental stuff that you could take and you could take back to your real life, you know, when you're not in a room of amazing women and you're having to do this from your house by yourself, that could help you stay on, you know, those guidelines, that could help you make choices for yourself, to where you didn't feel like you needed to email support to say, can I have this? Right? How many of you guys have done that? I know you have. And so I wanted to help you guys. I wanted to create a roadmap for you to where you would learn how to make those decisions for yourself. Because part of LadyBoss is what most weight loss companies do is they sign you up, they get you started, here's the plan, and they don't want to tell you anything more than that. They don't want you to actually learn it, right? Because they want you to need them. I'm like the exact opposite. I want you guys to learn so you're empowered and you're independent so you can say, I can make this choice on my own, I know what to do. You don't feel like you're relying on me, you don't feel like you're relying on the team because you know and you're confident in the decisions that you're making. And you're not constantly second guessing yourself. Would you guys like that? And let me tell you right now, there's plenty of people out there that know more than me about nutrition, about working out, about science, about like all this stuff, right? Like all these big words we hear. And there's plenty of people out there that know way more than me. But today I just kind of want to share with you how I do it. What's the process that goes through my mind when I'm prepping meals? When I'm creating what my meals will be? When I'm deciding, am I going to eat this? Like, should I have this? Would you guys like to learn those processes? Because I kept hearing you guys say, and I kept hearing from the team, I'm like, what are they asking you guys? What's the number one things that you hear from them? And the biggest thing was, can I have this? And how do I do this? And most of it pertained to food. And so I was like thinking, like, how can I take what I've learned and the process that I go through in my mind and make it simple for them to understand to where they can go apply it to their own life? Is this something that you're interested in knowing? Okay, just making sure, or else like we'll all just, go home. Just kidding. But just understand, this is what works for me, okay? And there's a lot of other ways to do it. There's a lot of other things that people say. But for me, this has worked over the past 6 years. It's helped me lose the weight and keep it off and be happy. Because there's plenty of times where I was smaller, I had more abs showing or whatever, right? But I wasn't happy. I was living a very unfulfilled life. I slept on the couch all day long. I was constantly telling myself, like, I can't have that, I can't have that, I can't do that. I was like living inside of a bubble. I was too afraid to go out to eat with my friends, so I would just stay home. How many of you guys are doing that? Because you're like, I'm afraid to make the wrong decision, so I just won't go at all. And I can remember just sitting there on the couch thinking, I'm going to have to eat egg whites for the rest of my life. Because in like my competing phase, that's what it was. Like egg whites and sugar-free Jell-O. I'm going to live off this for the rest of my life. And then I found out like the truth about food and the real process to, learning about it and what works and what's going to help me lose the weight and keep the weight off, right, long term. And I want you guys to be able to have that same thing. So do you care for me to share that with you today? Okay, I believe that knowledge is power. You guys should be taking notes on all of this, just so you know. And this is going to be, you remember how you guys said you were going to like play all out and you're going to go all in? Okay, we're going to need that commitment here. Knowledge is power. So I think it's important for you to know stuff, but I think that simplicity is key when you want to do it long term. I don't think you need to bog yourself down with science and this and that, and here's how the body works, and I need to sign up for all these classes, and I need to become a trainer, or I need to take nutrition classes, or what the heck is, this big word on this. Like, I don't think you guys need to know that. Half of that stuff, I don't even know. But I know it works in real life when it's crazy busy, and you're running through drive-throughs. I know what it's like to not know what to do. And so I think keeping it simple, and that's what I did, that's been able to help me lose the weight and keep it off because I'm not too hard on myself. I don't count calories. You guys are like, when you first start LadyBoss, you're like emailing like, do you guys know how many calories like we're supposed to eat a day? And I'm like, don't count it. See, it's like silent. People are like, oh, don't count calories, right? And I'm like, because it's the source of the calories, right? Not the amount of calories. I don't want you to have to weigh out every meal. I spent too many years of my life weighing every meal, measuring every little thing, counting grains of rice. And it's just, you cannot live that way. And that's why so many people that you see in other programs, like, yeah, they lose the weight, but they put it back on because that's not maintainable in our lives. Do you guys have time to spend like every single day, like weighing everything out, tracking everything, spending 20 hours on MyFitnessPal trying to like find the right food? And you're like, wait, okay, egg whites is in tablespoons. How many tablespoons of egg whites are in one cup? Like, hold on. Right? Like, it's unrealistic, is it not? So I keep my process simple. And I don't think you should have to struggle to figure stuff out, to figure out your food. So is it okay if I share my own personal strategies with you? Yeah. Okay. So here's, in my mind, it's always 95% whole foods, less than 5% processed food. If I can go without processed food at all, 100% do that. But that counts for like a protein bar that you might have, or it counts for other snacks that you might have that are processed. But 95% of the time, it should be some type of whole food. It should be something without a nutrition label, right? You guys ever notice how like when you're in the produce section and you're like, how many calories is in this orange? It's like, it doesn't say, right? You're like, wait, this is confusing. And you're like, how many calories is in this head of lettuce? You're like, wait, this is confusing. It doesn't have a nutrition label. And you're like, even if it did, I don't even know what I'm looking at, right? That's what I used to say all the time. But your food shouldn't have ingredients. Does that make sense? When it's a whole food, it doesn't have ingredients. Now, mind you, I don't mean stuff like natural peanut butter or like almond butter that has like almonds, a little bit of salt, right? I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the list of things that you see, and you're like, wow, okay, this is processed. Does that make sense? And some things that we have as snacks or that we have on the go or some of the treats that we like those most of the time count as processed foods. I want you to understand why your body needs what it needs. And I want you to understand why food is fuel for you, not pleasure. Does that make sense? Because you guys are like working out all the time, you're busting your butt, you're getting these results. And I feel like a lot of us have this relationship with food where it's like, oh, I did this, so now I'm gonna have this. Oh, I did this, or I got a raise at work, so let's go celebrate and get pizza and ice cream, right? We start tying our emotions to food. And I kind of want to help break that for you guys and show you like what you're putting in your body is your body's fuel. It's what's going to help you feel good, give you the energy, right? And so we should be eating to fuel our bodies, not for pleasure. And Brittany hit on this perfect earlier when she helped you guys, break the difference between that. Can you guys see the correlation here? So lean protein, these are basically the building blocks of your body. And I promise I'll get through the boring stuff first, but I just really want you guys to understand this. Your body needs it. It doesn't need 150 grams of protein a day, okay? I probably have I would say between 60 and 80 grams of protein a day. But everywhere out there, it's like, oh, you have to eat 150. When I was competing, it was 150 grams of protein a day. Literally all I ate was chicken and egg whites. Your body needs protein. It doesn't need an over-substantial amount of protein, but it needs it. It's what helps your body repair. It helps you recover. It helps build that nice, lean look you want. You guys want that toned body, right? Yeah, I know you do. Like me? Oh, that's so nice. So these are some of my favorites here. You guys already know, grass-fed whey protein is in your lean. Yes. But these are really important, and they're really important to get in. Your healthy fats. Oh, sorry, guys, take a picture. I love fish. I didn't at first. Oh, so a funny story about proteins, right? I hated eggs. I hated egg whites. I hated chicken. I hated turkey. I hated all fish. And what's really funny is, like, I used to eat nothing but cheeseburgers. My mom would try to feed me other stuff, and I was like, cheeseburgers and pizza rolls. Woman, that's what I want. And my sister was all into, like, chicken and chicken nuggets and, like, eggs and, like, all that stuff. And I'm just like, how do you eat that? Like, we used to, like, trade, like, low-key under the dinner table. She would drink my milk because I hated it, and I would eat her steak because I like meat, you know? And so I didn't like any of this, so don't get me wrong. It wasn't like I went into losing weight, and it was like, oh, I love eggs. I love egg whites. Every time I would just see them, I would start gagging, like, ugh, you know? Just the texture of them bothered me. How many of you guys, like, felt that way about some of this food? Some of y'all, it's vegetables. Y'all don't like your veggies. But what I did is I started telling myself, like, I'm not eating this because it tastes good. I'm not eating this because I'm supposed to like it. I'm not eating this for pleasure. I know that's what my body needs. My body needs this to repair itself. My body needs this so I can have energy. My body needs this so I can actually transform the look of my body instead of just losing weight. Does that make sense? Because these are the building blocks of your body. How many of you guys, like, hate some of those foods up there? Get over it. You knew it was coming. So healthy fats. This is your body's energy and your mood source. That's why most of the time when you eat almond butter and you eat avocado and you're like, oh, like, I feel good, it's a mood enhancer. It helps give your brain what it needs to actually think and work and play and do the things that you want to do. It helps your mind and your body be in one sync, okay? How many of you guys like to have energy? Because I see all these, like, diets out there, right, that are like, oh, low fat, don't eat this, don't eat fats, they're bad for you, fats make you fat. And it's so not true, okay? Your body needs those fats, so it actually can help your brain communicate so it can operate efficiently. That's why, you know, when I was competing and stuff and I was eating, like, no fats, no carbs, which I'm going to get to in a second, I literally couldn't even remember my own phone number. People would be like, oh, yeah, like, I'll text it to you. What's your number? I'd be like, hold on. I almost just said it on here. That was really almost a mistake. Had to get a new phone number. But my body wasn't operating efficiently or correctly. And so you need these things. And so when you hear all this low fat, like, don't eat this, don't eat that, I lost this much from, you know, not having it, your body needs it. Because for it to let go of stored fat, it needs that actual fat that it can turn into production in your body. So it can actually make things happen. Does that make sense? Because what happens is when your body doesn't have it, it starts storing more fat. Because it doesn't know the next time it's going to get it. It doesn't know the next time it's going to be able to give your brain what it needs for you to do your job, for you to get things done. So it's starting to store other things in your body because it's trying to make up for what you're not giving it. Does that make sense for you guys? Here's some of my faves. Yes, right? Just so you know, I didn't like avocado either. I literally hated everything but cheeseburgers and pizza. And so most fish are really good sources of fat. You know, you have your almond butter, natural peanut butters, coconut oil. I love cooking with coconut oil. If you guys haven't, like, cooked fish or chicken in coconut oil, oh, man, it's so good. It's so good. It's like a treat almost. It's like sweet. So with complex carbs, I know you guys have heard me ask this question a million times. How many of you guys have heard carbs are bad? Raise your hands, y'all. Y'all participating today. I don't care. Right with one hand, raise the other hand. So complex carbs, right? Your body uses them as fuel. Your body uses it as fuel. And you hear so many people say, don't eat carbs, they're bad. Don't eat carbs, they're bad. It's not true. It was literally like 24 weeks without eating carbs. And I'm talking like less than 10 a day that came from spinach. When I was competing, I was told, you can't have any carbs, like literally zero. And it can only about one time a week, you can have a half a cup of rice. And I was like, man, really? But this is what I gotta do, right? Don't eat carbs. And what happened was, I leaned out for my show, didn't eat any carbs, and because my body hadn't had them in so long, after my show, you guys have seen this probably online a bunch, how much weight people gain after they compete, because you take things out of your diet, you take one of the building blocks, right, one of the blocks of nutrition, complex carbs, healthy fats, and lean protein, and you take one of those out, and your body tries to start making up for it. And so my body didn't know what to do once I started eating them again. When I'm talking about carbs, I'm not talking about bread and all this stuff. Like, all I did was start eating like sweet potatoes again and a little bit of rice again and trying to wean things back into my diet. I started just having oatmeal again. And I gained 40 pounds in like 6 weeks. Everyone was asking me if I was pregnant. Actually, they didn't even ask me to my face. They were asking Brandon, is Kaelin pregnant? And I was like, oh my gosh, like I just destroyed my body. Because of what I wanted in the short term, like not eating carbs, and like you see all this keto crap all over the place that's like, don't eat any carbs and high fat and no carbs. And I'm like, it's BS. It's total BS. I did it, I experienced it. And yes, you will lose weight short term. In that 30-day period that they promote, you will lose weight short term. But do you know what happens as soon as your body starts shutting down because it doesn't have the fuel that it needs? And then once your body starts breaking itself down, you say, okay, light bulb, I do need those. And you start eating them again, and then guess what? Your body's like survival mode. It says, it goes into like shutdown, right? It's like error, we don't have what we need. So when you start giving them those carbs, it starts storing everything because it thinks that it's gonna have to go another 24 weeks without it. And so you start gaining all this weight back. So when you see this stuff online, when you hear people talking about it, like, yeah, it'll work short term for you, work short term for me. But then all of that hard work I had worked so hard for, because I was trying to take a shortcut, because I was trying to cut things out, I ended up worse than what I started. Does this make sense to you guys? So I just don't want you to get drugged into or for other people to make you believe that to get results or to get them faster that you should cut any of these things out. Because your body needs all three to operate efficiently. And we all want our bodies like at the prime state, right? We want to have energy, we want to get results, we want to have a good looking body. But when you cut corners, when you try to cut out carbs, when you try to cut out fats, it takes you in the exact opposite direction long term than where you want to be. Does that make sense? All right, here's some of my favorites. So all vegetables fall into this category, okay? All your veggies. And just so you know, I hated all veggies except for my grandma's green beans, and there was bacon in them. That's why I liked them. So I hear from you guys all the time, I don't like vegetables. And I'm like, oh man, like get some pizza seasoning and put it on top. That's how I started. Literally, I used to put pizza seasoning on my vegetables to eat them. All fruits fall in this category, all your potatoes, all the good stuff. What's cool though is about complex carbs is when you have them, like you feel great, right? You feel good. You guys have all done like low carb, no carb diets, right? You've all tried it. Let me see some hands. Did y'all feel like crap? Yes. Did you have energy? No. Why is that? I like it. So these are all my favorites. If you guys haven't had quinoa, that's one of my all-time faves. I love it so much. You guys should try it. Try something new. So I get a lot of questions about this. A lot of messages that are like, Kaelin, I know what like carbs are, and I know we're supposed to like have carbs. Well, what the heck is a net carb? Like, can you explain that to me? And so when you look at a nutrition label, right, these are for foods, or when you're looking at MyFitnessPal or whatever you're looking at, and you're seeing like total carbs, fiber, you're seeing like sugar alcohols and a lot of the protein bars that you eat and stuff like that. Fiber actually isn't digested by your body, right? It just like passes right through. So it doesn't count as an actual carb because your body's not storing it. Does that make sense? It's not going to use it for anything. It just passes it right through. So when you see labels and things like that, this is how you actually calculate. This is what a net carb means. So it's total carbs minus the fiber minus the sugar alcohol. So when you're looking at like a protein bar, and you just want to know, because I don't tell you guys to count carbs and stuff like that, but when you want to know, this is how you figure it out. I just wanted to make that clear for you guys, because I get this question all the time, like, I just see this, like on the Quest bar, it says net carbs this, but on the back it says, you know, it has 20. Like, what the heck does this mean? What does it mean net carbs for? You guys got that? Okay. So just like this. Shh, don't tell them I put this in my presentation. So can you guys see where it says total carbs on Halo Top? I use Halo Top because like we all love it. I'm not going to lie. See how it says total carbs 14, fiber 5, sugar alcohols 5. Do you see that? So what's the math on that? What's the net carbs? Boom, right? So you might be thinking like, oh, I got all my carbs in for the day. And really you've had like 12. 16 if you ate the whole thing like I do. All right, get up. Wake up. You guys ready? Y'all ain't sleeping on me, are you? Here we go.
This is power.
Here we go. Come on, let's go.
This is
Wake
power.
up.
This is
go.
power.
Go, 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 go,
This
go.
is power.
Awesome. I am confident. I work hard. I give no excuses. I am authentic. I spread sparkle. I love myself. I am focused. I am unstoppable. I am a ladybug.
This is power.
All right, I had to wake you guys up because we're getting ready to do some work. You guys ready? Do you have your notebooks ready? So I wanted to teach you kind of how to build your meals. Because I know a lot of you at home, or there might be certain meals that you like, certain foods that you like, and you want to build your own meals. So this is a way that I use to build those meals, and I do it all in my head, right? I do it all in my head now, and you'll be at that point soon where I can look at something and Brandon's like, what's in this? And I'm like, oh, it has like 20 grams of carbs, like 18 grams of protein, and you could just remember. But I'm going to show you how to build your meals based on a super easy hand measuring method. You guys want to see it? Yes. Okay, cool. So everybody go like this. So at each meal, you should at least have like this much, and this is by meal, not by day, this much healthy fats. So this is 1/4 of an avocado. This is 2 tablespoons of almond butter. This is coconut oil that you cook with. Does that make sense? This is, oh, y'all can put your hands down now. I know that's like difficult. This is maybe your salad dressing, right? This is how I measure it. I just pour it out. I'm like, yep, that's about that big for each meal. And just know when I'm building these out for you, you can put 2 things together, like besides like your protein. But if you wanted to say like you wanted to have the half of avocado in one meal, like you see how this makes about a half of avocado? You guys see that? Come on, y'all. Like this, like if you put 2 hands together. So if you're like, oh, I want to have, you know, this much almond butter at breakfast, right? Like you guys can measure it out. Palm of complex carbs. So this is like right here, just your palm complex carbs. This is your beans, this is your rice, this is your sweet potatoes, your palm. Let me see your palms. I bet they're pretty. They are. So this is gonna give you the perfect measurement for those complex carbs. Does this make sense? You guys got that? Flat hand, green veggies, like piled up if you want to. So when you look at your plate, like what you're putting on it or what you're scooping out, you can just think like you don't actually have to put everything in your hand, okay? I don't want to see you guys like, all right. I can see you guys posting pictures now. You're like, this hand measuring method is kind of like messy. But as you put on your plate, just think like, okay, that's a hand piled up of veggies. So when you think about like your meals in the trainer, right, the LadyBoss trainer, like can you see it now, like how it's coming together? How I'm telling you like, okay, have this much of this, right? And for certain days, like certain meals on your days and certain days, like there's more fat in one, there's more carbs in one. I cycled through it for you guys, so it's not like the same thing every day, right? But this is how you can build those things on your own. So if you're at home and you're like, okay, I only have this stuff, how can I build a meal? This is how you can do that. Is this helping you? Good. Because I was like, Brandon, I don't know. And he was like, trust me, it took me 9 months of living with you to like figure this stuff out. So you want a cupped hand of lean protein. So this includes like chicken. So think about it, like a chicken breast fits in there, right? Like cut up. Tilapia, cod, salmon, like all of your protein will fit in the cup of your hand. Egg whites, that's like a cup and a half. I measured it like for sure, like it's a cup and a half. And so this is for those 3 meals of the day, right? Not the snacks, not the other stuff. This is just for your 3 main meals. And so if you want to build those things together, can you guys see how it like kind of came together like that? You have all your veggies. You got your carbs. You got your chicken. Oh, yeah, that looks so good, guys. I'm so hungry. Not hangry yet, though. You guys are too cool for that. And then it's just say it's included that there's olive oil on that, right? Like, how much olive oil? Okay. I love it. So here's some of my favorite guilt-free seasonings, because you guys are like, man, I don't want to get bored or whatever. This is besides like everything that's in the trainer for you guys, okay? Does that make sense? Because like everything that's in the trainer is perfect for you to have. I just want to give you more of a process and a foundation to kind of figuring it out on your own and being able to create your own things. So mustards. I love mustard. I know Michelle Bishop loves mustard more than like anything in life. Pepper, all the Mrs. Dash seasonings, which are salt-free. Bragg's liquid aminos, which I love to cook with. You have your coconut aminos, which are amazing too. Sriracha. Who likes the hot stuff in here? Man, let me tell you what, I never had anything hot in my life until I moved to Albuquerque. And no joke, I like went to eat some salsa one time. I was like, is this hot? They're like, no, it's like mild. I was like, okay. And I eat it. Oh my gosh. It was like extra, extra, extra hot. But like where I'm from, like we only have like, Tostitos salsa. Like they got the real stuff. My mouth burned for like 3 days. So those of you guys who like the hot stuff, like put the hot stuff on there. Okay, salsa is good. I love putting fresh lemon on salads and just tossing the lemon in the salads. Coconut oil is also really good. Cayenne pepper, heat some things up. Green chilies, y'all see that in my omelets all the time, official New Mexican. You have all the vinegars, and then any like fresh herbs and spices. When you go in the grocery store and you walk down that aisle and you see like all the herbs, all the spices, all that stuff is good. It's the stuff below that that's all been mixed together and it has a ton of sodium in it. It's gonna give you like heart palpitations just eating it, you know what I mean? You guys ever eat something really salty? I used to be in love with movie theater popcorn, but I put so much salt on it that it felt like it was like stopping my heart and like sucking my lips out like this. Because I just loved salt. So, did these seasonings help you guys? Cool. So, in your notebooks, now it's time to do an exercise. I want you to write out 3 meals that you could do right now with the hand method that I shared with you. So you can do 3 lunches, 3 dinners. You could do breakfast, lunch, and dinner, however you want to do it. But I just want you guys to take a minute. I really want you to exercise this yourself. I want to get you guys thinking. So instead of me showing you, I want you to write out 3 meals that you would do. What's your protein gonna be? What are your complex carbs gonna be? What are your healthy fats gonna be? What are your veggies gonna be? And they all need to be different. Don't use chicken on all of them, that's cheating. If you've got 3 down, raise your hand. Okay. If you got them now, raise your hand. All right, now I want you to take a minute and turn to get a partner, and I want you guys to share what meals you made with each other. So take just a minute, turn to each other, share your meals, check each other off. How did your partner do? Did they do good? Let me see a thumbs up if your partner did good. Let me see a thumbs down if your partner did bad. Just kidding. They're sitting right next to you. Dang, call them out.
This is power.
All right, double me down. Let's go.
This is
Energize. I know it's late. Let's go.
This is power.
Let's go.
This is power.
Yeah. Ready? I am confident. I work hard. I give no excuses. I am authentic. I spread sparkle. I love myself. I am focused. I am unstoppable. I am a
This is
You guys are feeling good. You guys are gonna go all night, aren't you? I was afraid of that. Just kidding. Did I tell you it would be a giant sleepover, or did I tell you it would be a giant sleepover? So you guys ready to become meal prep masters? Are you guys ready to become meal prep masters? Awesome, let's do it. So, the first step, remember this is my process to how I do things. And not everyone is going to agree with this out there in the world. But I'm just going to tell you what's worked for me for the past 6 years. And what keeps me sane, the process that keeps me sane. Because back when I used to meal prep like a crazy person all the time, like nuts, I lived like no life because I was always cooking every day. Oh, we got time for that, right? So I want you to pick like 2 meals from the trainer that you love. Okay, 2. That are your favorites, that you're like, oh, like me and the frittata. You guys know that frittata gets me. Yeah, the stir fry, that's good too. And so I want you to pick 2 meals from the plan that you love. And you can like think of them in your mind, you're like, oh, I love when I get to have this. Or make up one of the 2 meals that you just wrote down. Those 2 meals you can use as well, okay? So the first thing is to pick those 2, and then what you're gonna do is you're gonna rotate them, all right? You're gonna rotate them every other day. And I know that it sounds like kind of crazy, but when you pick the foods that you like look forward to having them. How many of you like already have like the same stuff all the time? You have like you have like your 3 or 4 or 5 favorite meals, and you're just like, oh, I could have that, but I just want the frittata. That's me all the time, right? It's like, you're gonna eat another frittata. It's like your 3rd frittata today. I'm like, man, it's just so good. So the next thing you're gonna do is you're gonna prepare all the food at once. Usually for me, this is like a Sunday evening, and it should only take you 1 hour to do everything. Listen, accumulated cook time should be 1 hour, and if it's not, you're not doing it right. That's why I'm here to show you why. Are you guys ready? You should be making 2 weeks worth of that meal, so just calculate out like, okay, I need this many chicken breasts, I need this many of this, I need this many of this, whatever it is you're making. The cookie sheet is the cure to everything. Because you can turn on your oven and you don't have to watch it. You're not standing over the stove. You're not cooking things. You're not at the grill. Stuff's not burning while kids are running around, right? So my trick is that literally I cook everything on cookie sheets. I lay out a cookie pan for my chicken, put all the chicken on there. So say I'm gonna make like chicken and my other one's tilapia, which I do a lot. 1 pan's totally chicken, 1 pan's totally tilapia. You guys get where I'm going? My oven is preheated. Then I'll figure out whatever my carb is gonna be, right? So if it's rice, I have a little rice cooker, which just like the oven, it cooks itself. I don't gotta watch it. Has a little timer, bing, done, food's done. And say like I'm gonna cook sweet potatoes, right? All I do, wrap them in foil, put them all on another cookie sheet, put them in the oven. My veggies, say I'm gonna make, let's go with the hard one, like zucchini, right? It's not something everyone cooks. Everything else, it's like you can use a steamer for that, right? Zucchini, I'll cut it up, I'll put it on a pan, put it in the oven. And then what happens is I just set a timer on my phone for when the zucchini needs to come out, when the sweet potatoes come out, when the chicken comes out. And it all cooks at the same time. Crazy, right? And so what's cool is because you've cooked all this food, and think about all the options you have now, right? There is now chicken and sweet potatoes and zucchini. I love zucchini. I like my zucchini chips. And you also have like tilapia and those 2 same things. But you can like mix and match so much stuff. So when it comes out of the oven, you can actually start deciding what you're gonna have, right? And then all you're doing is once it cools, you're just putting it in baggies or Tupperware. So then you're gonna start organizing your meals after you've cooked it. And trust me, you can find a way to cook it in the oven, everything. I mean, heck, you can cook your green beans in a crock pot during the day while you're at work. You can figure out a way. But I feel like there's this block for you guys right now that's like, I can't do it, I don't have time. But really, you could do it usually I do mine at like 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night. because I have that hour that I'm not working, I don't have anything else, like besides scrolling through the LadyBoss group, like I have nothing else going on at that time, right? And so then I can just kind of do that, throw it in the oven, go take my shower, take a bath, whatever I'm gonna do, and then move on to the next thing. So now I'm gonna show you how to organize it. So you guys remember your hands, right? Your whole hand thing. So Amazon food containers. This is my like big secret right here. You can go on Amazon and for like super cheap, you can get these little containers. What's really funny is that Michelle Bishop's here now, and she was the one I first heard the gallon baggie method from, where she literally like sorted out all of her food in like Ziploc bags, all right? So say you're having like chicken, sweet potatoes, and the zucchini, right? So she like separated each of them into the baggies, and then she put all of one day's, like one meal in a baggie together, like not all mixed together, like different baggies, in one together. And then meal 2, she put all in a baggie together, and then the next one, all the baggies together, and then one day was in a gallon baggie. So then all she had to do was pull it out of the fridge, and there was all her meals for the day. Genius, right? Super good, right? And what's cool is when you cook up all this other food, you can put it in the freezer, and then you're just rotating it out, like every 2 days. You can freeze that chicken back, those veggies back, the carbs back, and then you can take it out and then heat it in a skillet, heat it in the microwave, whatever you want to do. So the fridge and freeze, and then rotate. These containers, you can just Amazon, just look up meal prep containers. I have like 8,000 at my house because these aren't like Tupperware. Like Tupperware, your heart breaks a little bit when it gets thrown away or when it stinks real bad in your car because you forgot it, and you're like, dang it, that Tupperware was like $8. And I'm down to my last one. These are super cheap, and so you could go with it or go without it. Does that make sense? Like if it's sitting around or whatever, you can throw it away and your feelings aren't hurt, your heart's not broken. But it'll also keep your food really well in the fridge or the freezer, and you can keep them around and reuse them, and they're dishwasher safe. That pretty cool? So this is literally how I do it. So the 3 things were what? Do you guys feel like that helped you at all? Yes? Because it's only as hard as you make it seem in your mind. If you let yourself get overwhelmed about food and like the chicken and getting in and putting this over here and this on the skillet and this in the steamer and this over here, like don't make it complicated for yourself. If you're gonna cook everything on the grill, cook it on the grill. I do this all the time too. I put all the chicken on there, all the veggies on there, all the fish on there, cook everything at one time. Because then you don't have to worry. You're not like, oh crap, I forgot this. Or, oh yeah, my egg whites are in the skillet. Or, oh my gosh, like running back and forth because you got caught up with kids or husband or something going on or a phone call. And all your food that you're supposed to be prepping just burned. How many guys have done that? Yeah, I've done it like countless times. It's ridiculous. And so think about ways that you can make it easy on yourself. What's the way that I can compile this to be the most efficient way? And this is what works for me and has worked for me the last 6 years. And I promise your first couple times, you might not be able to do it like within the hour, but I promise after like 2 times, you'll like have it down. You'll be like, bam, bam, magician. And then you're like, what do I do with the rest of my time? Work out, exactly. So you guys are now meal prep masters. So I want you to write down a couple ideas of what you could meal prep in your oven at home. Most of us can fit 4 medium cookie sheets in our oven. So I want you to choose what's going on each of those cookie sheets. And just know, like, all zucchini doesn't have to go on one sheet. It could be half sweet potatoes, half zucchini. But what's some combinations that you can do? You guys start writing those down. Because I really want you to think about it. I want you to think about your house, your life, like what are you going to have time to do? What can you put in your oven or on your grill and do it all at the same time? And then think too, what are the seasonings I'm going to use? This is one thing I forgot to say is when I take everything out, I season it all differently. So when the chicken comes out, when the tilapia comes out, some of it gets cayenne pepper, some of it gets green chili, some of it gets Mrs. Dash lemon pepper. So it doesn't all taste the same. It's not all the same, right? My sweet potatoes I do differently. Sometimes I put cinnamon on some of them. I put pepper on other ones. So you can do them different ways. So list out a couple different ways that you could season those things that are your favorites, like pizza seasoning or ranch seasoning on your vegetables. Oh, that's a good one. So what's on your pan number 1? Let me hear it. Brussels sprouts? That's the one you picked? I'm not going to your house for dinner. I'm just kidding. What's on your pan number 2? Sweet potatoes? I like sweet potatoes too. What's on your pan number 3? Yes. What's on your pan number 4? Chicken, yeah. So you guys are now meal prep masters. Give yourself a pat on the back. Give your neighbor a high five. And get up out of your seat.
This is power. This is power. This is power. This is power.
Ready? I am confident. I work hard. I give no excuses. I am authentic. I spread sparkle. I love myself. I am focused. I am unstoppable. I am a ladybug. Yeah. All right. How do you guys like going out to eat? So this is something I talk about a lot, but I want to break down to you my process when I go out to eat, because I know a lot of people think like, oh, you can only go out to eat on cheat meals or free meals or whatever. Or when you do go out to eat, like, you freak out about what to order. How many of you guys go through that when you like see the menu? You're like, man. And I know, we planned out a ton of restaurants for you guys and how I would order and how I would do what I did. And I wanted to walk you through how my mind works when I sit down at a restaurant. Would you guys like to know? Yes. Okay. So first of all, it starts before I ever get to the restaurant. Because if you allow yourself to get to the restaurant and then decide, you've already failed. You've already put yourself in a situation that you shouldn't have put yourself in. So the first thing I do when my friends, they're like, hey, you want to go to Bonefish tonight? You want to go to Cheesecake Factory? Most of the time it's Cheesecake Factory because we just got one like within the last year. And so that's where everyone wants to go. And I'm like, great. The biggest menu on the planet. That's the place where we're going to go. With the biggest cheesecake on the planet. And so I want you to pull up the menu online and choose before you get there, before you're hungry and you're tempted, because in your mind you might say, oh yeah, like I'll get a salad or chicken, and then you get there and you're like, oh, I'm starving. Give me the cheesecake first, man. How many of you guys do that for real though? You've done it before, don't lie. Me too. And so I want you to pull up the menu online. I want you to find what you're going to have, make the decision. I want you to actually text it to yourself or Facebook message it to yourself as a commitment. Did you guys get that? Y'all ain't writing it down. Write it down. I'm going to text it to myself. So you're actually committed to what you're saying, to the decision that you want to make. Do what you said you're going to do. She's got it. Make the decision before you get there and you're tempted and you have friends around you and there's social pressure and they're like, don't you want the nachos? You love the nachos here. Don't you want the, onion blossom? It's your favorite. And I'm like, stop reminding me. And so what this does is it makes you kind of bulletproof going into it because you're already in that mentality. You just had lunch or you just had a meal or you're not hungry at that time. So things look different than when you're hungry, right? You guys know what I'm saying. You look at a menu and you just say, you're like, I'm good. But you get there and you're hungry, you're like, I want this and I want this and I want this and I want this. All at the same time. As my appetizer, please. Bring it all right now. I'm starving to death. Bring 3 baskets of bread. Texas Roadhouse gets y'all too, huh? Those rolls. Demon rolls. And so do you guys see where looking it up before actually making the decision and then texting it to yourself or messaging it to yourself as a commitment, that makes sense? Because when you think about your behavior pattern of what you actually do, like there's one thing where it's like, oh yeah, that sounds nice to do. And then it's like what you actually do. It sounds nice to have like a healthy meal out to eat so I can actually like go out with my friends. But every time I go out with them, I'm like, this is what I do instead. So make sure to choose before you go. So here's some of my like general rules, because this is not for like free meal, right? This is not like the night that you go out and can have whatever you want, do whatever you want. This is like when I go out on a daily, every other day basis or whatever, when I'm traveling and stuff like that. These are kind of the guidelines that in my head that I just tell them. So if I'm getting some type of salad, it's definitely the dressing on the side. Definitely the dressing on the side. When you look up, because it's supposed to be like a serving on your salad of what like the restaurant's supposed to put on it, but it ends up being like a quarter cup. That's like a third of a bottle of dressing on your salad. And that's why when you get it and it's all soggy and everything, you're like, oh, but it's so good. But you're like, man, it's like soggy. Well, it's because you're just eating like a third a bottle of ranch. I have a best friend who likes ranch. And I'm always telling her, she's like, man, it's just the ranch. I can't let it go. I'm like, let go of the ranch. You could do it. How many of you guys like ranch? Ranch was my big one too. So whatever the dressing is, I would prefer you go with like some type of balsamic or vinaigrette, not the creamy stuff that's made with like dairy and butter and all of that. Go with balsamics and put it on the side. Because when you dip your fork in it, then it's like you get dressing on every bite. It's not too much. It's just enough. And it's like a tenth of the amount of calories and fat and sugars and all that stuff, right? And I always have them leave off the cheese, okay? I know we like are addicted to cheese. I get it. But when you go out to eat, there's a lot of things that you can't account for. A lot of the ways that they maybe prepare things or how it's cooked that you can't account for what they're doing. And cheese is like, they'll put so much. How many of you guys know? You're like, oh yeah, I get this salad at this one place, but there's like 8 pounds of cheese on top, but it's still a salad. I used to tell myself that all the time. I was like, oh, I'm gonna get that one salad. And then there's like, it's like really like cheese with like lettuce under it, So leave off the cheese. I have it cooked with no butter, no oil. So if I'm ordering like chicken and broccoli or whatever, I'm just making stuff up. If I'm ordering that, I'll say, hey, yeah, I want like this chicken meal with broccoli and green beans, no butter or oil on any of it. And they'll be like, okay. Like you just have to tell them. So many people think that like restaurants will say no or won't do it, but they're there to serve you and they want to give you something that you're gonna enjoy and what you want. Right? I used to work for a restaurant for a really long time. And it would actually excite me when someone's order would challenge me instead of just like be the same thing over again. So don't be like scared or shy to ask for these things, okay? So like the chicken, I'll say, no butter, no oil. And then they'll be like, okay, like do you have an allergy? And I'm just like, yeah, I just would prefer not to have it. And they're like, okay, no big deal. Like we'll totally get you taken care of. And with the sauces, so say you're ordering like some type of chicken dish or whatever, and there's like marsala or white wine or some type of glaze, you can get that stuff on the side. So same trick as using the salad dressing on the side. Those creamy sauces, those mushroom sauces, all of that stuff that is, like that sauce is more calories than like what you had the whole rest of the day combined, right? And so when you're trying to have a healthy meal, it's important to make sure that you're not like killing your whole day with like a sauce that's not even that good, So put it on the side, just dip your fork just like you do the others. I always get double veggies instead of like potatoes, rices, and starch out to eat because they prepare those things so differently and you can't account for those things, right? And there's already out to eat is already more calorie dense. So I just protect myself by always saying double veggies. And I get like broccoli or green beans, or I'll get like a big salad or whatever it is. and have a side salad as an appetizer. So I know a lot of us, like when we get there, we're like so hungry, like I gotta eat something now. Give me the fried calamari. Woo! It's like my favorite. But just have them order that side salad first. They'll be able to connect it to your meal later. But just say, hey, can I get a side salad as my appetizer? I'm getting an entree in a little bit. We're like, sure, have it right out. So then you have something to eat there, so you're not like, scarfing 30 Texas Roadhouse rolls. Everything at a restaurant can be made to order. So when you see a menu item, when you see, say, your salad or your chicken and broccoli, I don't know, I order that all the time, that's why I'm just saying it. You can have them add anything else that's anywhere else on the menu. I know this is like a magic trick right now, to your meal. So let's say I just got a plain like chicken Caesar salad, okay? If over here somewhere there's like fajitas with like avocado or roasted peppers or any other type of veggie or zucchini or a salsa, I can say, hey, I would like this chicken Caesar salad, but can I also get avocado? Because I know it's in the kitchen. They don't have a problem putting it on. It'll cost you like 50 cents or whatever. Can you add this avocado to my salad? And can you add this zucchini to my salad? And can I get this salsa on my salad? And you can kind of build your own meal. Does that make sense? Are you guys like, whoa? You can actually mix and match the menu items. As long as it's somewhere else, usually I've never, ever, ever had a restaurant tell me, like, no, you can't have that. You can't do that. Like, they want to sell you stuff. They want you to buy the extra avocado. And always adding more veggies. So whenever I get a salad, if it's like one that's not going to be big, or don't be afraid to like get more greens, get more vegetables. Add veggies onto your salad. I do that all the time when it's like a little salad. And I'll be like, can I get a side of green beans? And then I'll just put the green beans like on my salad and eat them like it was all made like that intentionally. And then you can also change up the protein. So if you see like a salad that you want, or you see like a meal that you want and it has chicken. And most of the time, like you guys know, I love salmon. I'm like obsessed with it. For a while, my husband's like, you don't eat anything but salmon. Like you gotta eat something else. I'm like, but it's so good. He's like, everywhere you go, you order salmon. I'm like, I know, it's a problem. So don't be afraid to change up the protein on stuff. So if you like see, there's a salad I like at Cheesecake Factory, and it's like the Southwest chicken salad or something. And I always say like, I wanna exchange the chicken for the salmon. And so they have no problem doing that. They'll bring it out with salmon or tilapia or whatever you want, and all restaurants will do this. Does this help you guys? Yes. Cool. So here's an example. This is where you guys we're gonna go to work a little bit here. This is one of my favorite salads from Cheesecake Factory. The description says, you guys got your notebooks and pens ready? The description says, lime marinated chicken, fresh corn, black beans, cheese, tortilla strips, tomato and mixed greens with spicy peanut cilantro vinaigrette. So this is something I actually order on the regular, but I want you to write down how you would order it, how it should be ordered. I want you to practice this right now. And it's okay, like you don't have to be right, like this is a learning process for everyone. So I just want you right now to take a second and write down what you would leave off or change. It says lime marinated chicken, fresh corn, black beans, cheese, tortilla strips, tomato and mixed greens with a spicy peanut cilantro vinaigrette. You guys ready to see what I would do? So I would say no cheese, please, no tortilla strips. I would get the dressing on the side, and then there's avocado and another salad. I'd like that too, please. Can you add that to my salad? Did anybody get that? Y'all got the add avocado? Y'all are so good. I love it. Awesome. So this is exactly how I order this salad. Is this helping you guys, like practicing this? Here's the next one. Yeah, right? And I don't care if you're someone sitting out there that's like, I don't like salmon. Like, how would I order it is what I'd like to know. You can order it for me then, okay? So it has salmon with shrimp, tossed in Cajun butter sauce, topped with pico de gallo. So what would you guys do? And it says, with your choice of 2 sides. No butter sauce, you guys got that? And definitely 2 sides of green veggies. How many of you guys got that? Oh, I'm too easy on you guys. All right. How many of you guys like Mexican food or Southwestern food? Yeah, in Albuquerque, it's like all you can get anywhere. So this is Chili's menu. These chicken fajitas are on that menu. So what would you guys do? This one's kind of a trick one. Are you guys ready? Okay, so having all of this food, like did you hear how you were just saying you had to leave off a million things and not a million things? So what's really cool at restaurants is you can do things a la carte. So what I would do is I would just order the chicken a la carte with no butter, no oil. I would say I'd like a side of sauteed veggies, guac and salsa, and then I would get a side salad. And so instead of spending money, $19 on a whole plate of fajitas, they'll basically bring you those things separately, a la carte, because you're not having like all the bunches of rice and all that stuff. And then I would literally just put it all on my salad. And I would just eat it like that. So then it's like you get chicken fajitas, but you're not paying $20 for chicken fajitas and then leaving everything out, right? You're paying like $4 for a piece of chicken. You're paying nothing for salsa or guac. And you're paying like a little bit for the sauteed veggies that are in the fajitas. Does this make sense? You can do whatever you want. Like, it's like Legos. It's so cool. You guys are going to have so much fun with this. And you go out to a restaurant tonight, you're going to be like, what are we going to do? How complicated can we make this? But here's a side note. Always, always, always be super nice to the waiter and the waitress that you're doing this with, because I always tell them in the beginning, I'm like, okay, I'm so sorry. This is going to be kind of complicated, but, like, I'm sorry. And they're always like, no, give it to me. I'm ready. They're ready for a change up, you know? So just always tell them in advance and always thank them for helping you and just be patient with them, right? There's not lady bosses that walk in there every day and are like, okay, excuse me, I need a healthy meal here at Chili's. All right, so now this is kind of a tricky one. Pasta. Okay, so there's 2 things on here that I would order. There's 2 things on here that I would order. I'd like you guys to write down which ones you think they are and how I would do it. So what are the 2 things you guys think that I would order? The first thing I would order chicken marsala. Now I want you to tell me how you'd order it. Boom, you guys are getting too good for this. All right, now here's the trick one. Which one was the second one? So here's the correct answer for that one of what I would do. And what was it? You guys think chicken margarita? I heard one person say it. So what I do when I go places like this and I want that Italian fix, I want that marinara sauce, I want the chicken parmesan, that's like my thing. I'll get a piece of chicken a la carte. I'll have them bring the marinara sauce. I'll get it with double veggies. And just make my own little chicken parmesan. Yes. Does this make sense to you guys? Does this help you? Showing you like how it's broken down? So no joke, when I go out to eat, this is how I can travel all over the place, be all over the place, eat out several nights a week. It's because when you take these principles and you pile them on top of each other, and it's like you can't let yourself get overwhelmed by the menu. Just look at the menu as all individual things. Don't look at the pictures and look at the names and say like, those are in concrete, this is what I can order. Look at the ingredients in each meal and say like, what can I put together? And it becomes really fun. You're gonna find yourself like, oh man, I made a good one today. You should have seen what I did at Cheesecake Factory or Texas Roadhouse, right? You're gonna be like bragging about it. You're gonna be like, in the group, I went to Cheesecake Factory today and I built this meal. But it's really cool how when you break it down, instead of looking at it as a whole and look at it as ingredients, then you can really build meals for yourself. Is this good stuff? Awesome.
This is power. This is power. This is power. This is power.
I am confident. I work hard. I give no excuses. I am authentic. I spread sparkle. I love myself. I am focused. I am supple. I am a LadyBoss. Now do I have a treat for you guys? Whew. How do we know? My team doesn't know about this yet, but they're gonna love me. So, my team came to me and said, Kaelin, the one thing, we're sitting in a meeting, and I was like, guys, what can we do to make this better for them? That's always our question. You guys are always in the forefront of everything. We're like, how can we make this better for them? How can we make it easier? How can we make it a better experience? And so one of the things that was brought up at a meeting was, Kaelin, we keep getting this question. Everyone emails and says, hey, can I have this? Is this LadyBoss approved? They're like, everyone asks in the group all the time, is this LadyBoss approved? Is this LadyBoss approved? And it's kind of like the blind leading the blind a little bit because we have no baseline to say like yes or no unless it's in the trainer. And I got to thinking, I was like, oh man, like this is a challenge. But I was like, if I could figure out a way that I process in my mind when I look at something, when I pick something up at a grocery store, when I pick something up at the gas station, when I see something online that looks really good, that they're like, oh yeah, this is a healthy protein bar and all this. Like, how do I know if it's LadyBoss approved? Would you guys like to know that system? Yes. And just know that this is stuff with a nutrition label, okay? This is where that 5% comes in of the processed food, right? The protein bars, the snacks, the things like that. If it doesn't have a nutrition label, like you're not worrying about it. If it's fruit, if it's vegetables, anything that's on the trainer, you're not worrying about it. So you guys get that it's like something you're gonna pick up and say like, is this LadyBoss approved? If you're picking up a vegetable, it's approved, guys. If you're picking up some fruit, it's approved, guys. So this is when you're picking up things that look healthy and you're like, I'm not really sure. Is it healthy? Is it not healthy? Can I have it? Can I not have it? The first question that will knock out a lot of this is, should I be eating this? So when you're holding that thing in your hand and you look down and you say, should I be eating this? And then you realize it's a Hershey bar disguised as a protein bar. The first question is, and honestly, should I be eating this? Because I feel like a lot of the time we want to make it fit. We want to like pray in the back of our minds like, I know that I shouldn't have it, but like, I think it's approved, so I'm gonna have it, even though you know that it's not. I do this a lot. Have you guys ever done that? So, question number one is, should I be eating this? Question number two, is the serving size less than 250 calories? So this is a packaged something. You're already having your other meals throughout the day, right? Is it less than 250 calories? And the reason I say that is you're already having other meals throughout the day. And if it's 250 calories, it's less than a meal. Does that make sense? Because you guys should be having whole foods, right? Protein bars are not like meal replacements, okay? The third one is there less than 5 grams of sugar? So I would actually say like 5 to 7. So is there 7 to 5 grams of sugar or less? For me, I do 5 because sugar, I literally am an addict, so I keep myself lower because even the stuff that I have, like it makes me crazy, and it makes me like just want more, right? The next one, is there a 5 to 1 carb-fiber ratio? So you guys know what I mean by this? When you look at the carbs, and it's 20, is the fiber at least 4? Because this is going to tell you that it's not just like empty, right? There's fiber, it's going to help you digest it. It's not just like kind of loaded with crap. So a 5 to 1 carb-fiber ratio, which means if there's 20 grams of carbs, is there 4 grams of fiber to go along with that? If there's 25 grams of carbs, is there 5 grams of fiber to go along with it? We just want to make sure that the carbs aren't empty carbs. Is there more than 5 grams of saturated fat? So unsaturated fat is the good stuff, right? It's like the avocados and the almond butter. Man, I could just eat almond butter every day, all day, you know? I go through more jars of almond butter than anyone on the planet, I think. Is there more than 5 grams of saturated fat? And this is per item, okay? So this is one label that you're looking at. You're not like calculating for like several things that you're gonna have. This isn't like a daily total. This is just on this one item when I'm looking at it, is there more than 5 grams of saturated fat? Because this is the bad fat, we don't want that. And this one's really important. Are there chemicals in this product? So a lot of the bars and stuff that you see nowadays, this includes like sugar alcohols. This includes like, you know, all of your artificial sweeteners. When you can't read stuff on the label. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? So are there chemicals in this product? And I'm going to show you how to walk through, now that we've established these 6 things, I'm going to show you how to walk through a flow chart that I made you. So you can keep this on your phone in your back pocket. I'll post in the group. You guys will actually have like, you know, the real copy. And so let's say we pick up a bar, right? Or a snack. And our first question is, should I be eating this? If the answer is yes, keep going. If the answer is no, put it back. All right? And hear me saying it just like that. Put it back. Is the serving size less than 250 calories? If it is, move on. If it's not, you guys got it. Does it have more than 7 grams of sugar? So I put 7 on here for you guys because I just want you to understand, you know, I keep myself at like 5, but I think 7 is okay, is great for you guys. Because this is just one item for your day, right? If it does have more than 7 grams, actually it says only 1 time a day. So it's not that you can't have those things, but you don't want to eat those things all day. That's not something you want to like reoccur in between every meal, right? So a 1 time a day thing, that's more than that 7 grams of sugar because you're gonna get other sugar from, you know, your dressings and from your fruit and stuff like that. So with this processed food, is it less than 7 grams of sugar? The next one is, does it have more than 5 grams of saturated fat? If the answer is no, you move on. If the answer is yes, you guys got it. And then the last thing you're looking for is that carb-fiber ratio. And if it has the ratio, move on. You guys, you're like, move on? Question mark? Yes. And if it doesn't, put it back because you're pretty much eating a candy bar is what that means. And then the last one is, does it have artificial sweeteners or chemicals? And if the answer is no, you eat it. And if the answer is yes, only have it rarely. And what I mean by rarely is like, I'm talking about your Quest bars and your other like protein stuff, your ice cream, stuff like that. Like, do you guys notice how when you have those chemicals, and I'm not sure if you guys are super aware in your body yet, but as you step away from like the old lifestyle and like maybe the fast food or the junk food that you used to eat, and now you like feel good, you can notice what happens in your body more, right? You know, like when you eat certain things, they make you feel bad. And so do you guys notice how when you have stuff with artificial sweeteners or chemicals in it, like your stomach feels bloated? And you're like, why does my face look puffy today, right? Or like it feels like you're just like your stomach is stuck, pooched out. You're like, oh, I feel like I have pregnant belly. When really like you just had like 3 Quest bars today. That's why. And so those are things that you want to have rarely. So it's not an everyday thing. Does that make sense? Okay, because I want you guys to feel good. So here we go. You guys ready? Woo! Are we going to break some hearts or make some people happy today? I don't know. All right, so I want you guys to take it through the process, and I want you to write on your paper whether or not it's approved, whether or not you can have it 1 time a day, or whether or not you're having it rarely. Don't shout it out. I want everyone to work at their own pace. Can you guys see, or do you need me to read a couple off? Oh, and by the way, if it fails like 2 of these tests from the flow chart, it's a put it back. You guys have your answers written? What do you think? Those freaking protein cookies. Right? I see these all the time, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, just have the real freaking cookie. It's less sugar. Right? And can you guys see that whole list of crap that's in there? Crazy, right? It is for half the cookie, but do you eat half the cookie? No, y'all eat the whole thing because you're just like me. Here's the puffins. Yeah, it's cereal. And on the carb to fiber ratio, it's not a hard number. It's like within 1 or 2. You don't want to be like, remember, these are guidelines. They're not like strict boundaries, okay? So don't be like, oh, it has 8 grams of sugar. I can't have it ever, right? These are more like bumpers than they are walls. What do you guys think? Hey, go eat you some cereal, girl. All right, next one. Caramel Crunch protein bar.
It says protein, it's gotta be.
Exactly, right? Like these are bumpers, not walls, because I just want you guys to kind of see what you're eating and the things that people are putting ads in front of you for, or that you're hearing online, right? That people are like, oh yeah, this is like the best ever. Totally good, eat it, right? And there's like all these super jacked people telling you to eat it, and you're like, bro, you came out of the womb with abs. Like you obviously can eat everything. You ate pizza last night before bed and you woke up 2 pounds lighter, you know, like. What do you guys think? So the fiber carb ratio is off. Sugar is more, lots of chemicals. So I would say no. But granola's healthy, guys. What do you mean? And like I said, guys, this doesn't mean like you never have a protein cookie ever again and you never have granola ever again. I just want you to understand, like when you pick something up, what you're kind of looking for. Is this helping you? So when you're at the gas station, you're like, I want a healthy snack. And you go in there, you're not like, huh. You look at it and you're like, dang, I should just have the Hershey bar instead. I don't want you to feel like, because this program and the trainer, like this whole program is built around giving you guys like an easy life, right? You don't have to count a bunch of things. You don't have to feel like you're strict or not allowing yourself to have stuff. I just want you to kind of understand up here, like what I look for when I eat things. Is this helping you? Yes. Cool. So what do you guys think? The sugar is high, right? Carbs and fiber. So this isn't like a never have it again, right? These are just Fiber One, guys. All those awesome commercials. What do you guys think? Why would you put it back? High five yourself. Tricked ya. So this is one of those rarely items, because you can tell it has a long list of stuff that's in it. And if you could see it up close, you could actually be able to read that it is like a lot of chemicals, artificial sweeteners, stuff like that. And if you want to feel your best and look your best at the same time, like we don't want to look good, but don't you want to feel good? Like you want to have energy. You don't want to feel like you're having digestive problems because there's a bunch of crap in the stuff you're eating, right? It's just like the supplements we were talking about earlier. It's like everything appears to be healthy, but you want your body to feel good so you can have energy and so you can be in a prime state, because you don't want to look good but feel like crap. We want to make sure that we're eating the right things. Quest protein chips. You guys caught me. So for this, yeah, absolutely. Knock yourself out. If you can see, everything's good on it. They've done a good job at using protein sources to actually make these chips, and they just bake them up, so they're good to go for you. Y'all don't just look at it first, y'all. You don't know if it's something I have rarely or something I have once a day, so actually check it out. I don't want you guys to just say yes to stuff because you see me eat it or you see someone else eat it. Like, did you see what just happened there? You guys saw it and just automatically thought, yes, we can have it. But this is actually something that I have very rarely. Very rarely. Because of the stuff that's in it. The chemicals and artificial sweeteners that are in it. So you guys, I just want you to take a moment and check out the behavior that just happened in this room. You see how oh, I've seen Kaelin eat it, or oh, I've seen so-and-so eat it. What's your name? Christina. I've seen Christina eat it, so it's okay for me to eat all the time. And we automatically jump into, oh, that's something I have all the time. I can eat this every day. I can have it for breakfast. I can have it late at night. But this isn't something that you would eat every day. And so just because you see someone else have it or you see it posted somewhere doesn't mean it's an everyday thing. Make sure you're checking it out for yourself. It's so easy to find. It took me 20 seconds to find all these nutrition labels. All I did was type in birthday cake, 1 bar nutrition label. And I can see it right there. I can just say, yes, this is something I'm going to have today. And you self-regulate, right? Hey, I had one yesterday. Shouldn't have one again today. And as you get more in tune with your body, as you guys start to learn more and you're more aware in your body, you'll start to feel those things. But if you can get those things in check now, you're going to feel so much better along the way. How many of you guys are at that point now, and when you have stuff, you're like, oh, okay, I can tell my body isn't really into this. So this is the process that I use to kind of map out and go through all of that. Has this been helpful? Okay, so you guys will have that whole flow chart for yourselves so you can kind of like walk through it when you pick stuff up. Obviously, in the group and stuff later, I'll be able to answer more questions for you on that. But I really hope this was helpful because I don't want you to feel like there's now boundaries on what you can have and don't have. Like, that's the last thing I want you to get from this presentation. I just want you to understand what it is you're putting in your body. I want you to become aware of it. I want you to know what you're actually looking at. I want you to start feeling how your body reacts when you have stuff like this or you have other stuff. And you're like, oh, okay, like I get it. Because I want you guys to feel awesome and primed and in the best state of your life, have the best energy of your life. You guys want that, right? But I also want you to be extremely knowledgeable about what you're eating. And I think you guys are at the point now, you guys have started losing weight. You're along your journey, and you're ready for that. The reason I didn't introduce this before is because I don't like to overcomplicate things for you. I like to make it easier. So don't allow this by me giving it to you make you feel like now it's complicated, because it's not. This is just something you keep in your back pocket for that next time that you're at the grocery store or whatever, and you're looking at something, you're saying, is this LadyBoss approved? And now you can have an answer. Do you guys like that? Awesome! Well, today has been freaking amazing. Have you guys had fun? I swear this has been like the most amazing thing of my life. I was sitting with our Bring a Friend contest winners today at lunch in my room, and I was telling them, they're right here in the front row, and I was telling them, I was like, oh my gosh, it's only lunchtime of day one, but it feels like we've been here forever. And I was like, I feel like so much has happened. And I just love seeing all of your all's pictures and everything that you're doing, hanging out together. Like, I literally have saved probably 1,000 pictures to my camera roll on my phone. My phone's like, no more storage. I'm like, but I gotta save all these awesome pictures. And I just love seeing it all. I'm so glad that you guys are just, have brought it together offline, and you're able to meet each other and hug each other and see your inspirations that you wanted to see that have helped you along your journey. And just leaving here today, I just want you to make sure that you tell those people and that you tell each other how much you appreciate each other. Because none of us would be here without the person sitting next to us. And I just don't want you to forget that, because it's easy to be like, oh yeah, I've lost this much, or I've done this, or I've done that. But take a minute to learn about someone else that's here. Learn their story. See how you can give to them. See how you can help them. Because I know a lot of the time we get so involved in, what did I learn, or what did I get out of this, or whatever it is, that we miss the opportunities that we have to make friendships that last a lifetime. And that's what you guys have here today. I don't want any of you guys walking away from this event and being like, dang, I wish I would have met more people. I wish I would have been able to say hi to more people. So I just encourage you, at any moment, just walk up and say hi to each other. It doesn't matter that you don't know each other in the group. It doesn't matter if you haven't met each other before. Do it, because I want you walking away from here. The next time you're in that group, can you imagine? Now you've met all of you face to face. And it just takes it to the next level, doesn't it? You guys are offline friends now, not just Facebook friends. Have you guys been having fun? Yeah. Didn't all the speakers do amazing? Yeah. I want to make sure that you guys go out tonight. You have so much fun. You'll be back in here tomorrow. We have a whole nother amazing day for you. I can't even tell you.